Welcome to the Full Moon Film Buff, episode 54. We're going to talk about The Night of the Werewolf from 1981. I watched this on Plex. I had not seen this before. As always, we're going to start with the prominent crew and cast. This film was written and directed by Paul Naschy, billed as Jacinto Molina Alvarez and Jack Moline, respectively. Effects makeup was done by Antonio Molina. Antonio Molina is a special effects coordinator and supervisor with more than 160 credits on IMDb. It appears he works mostly on Spanish productions, but Hollywood seems to love to work with him when they shoot in Spain. I understand now why the makeup and transformation scenes in this film are an improvement. Moving on to the cast. Paul Naschy stars as Waldemar Daninsky, aka the Werewolf. Julia Sally stars as Elizabeth Bathory, billed as Julie Sally. Sylvia Aguilar is Erica. Azucena Hernandez is Karen, and Beatriz Larreta stars as Micaiah. Julia Sally began her career as an actress, but transitioned to producer during her work with Paul Naschy. She helped produce this and Naschy's next El Hombre Lobo film. Azucena Hernandez was a burgeoning actress whose career was cut tragically short by a car accident that left her paralyzed. I absolutely positively recommend this movie. This is a better reboot of Walpurgis Nacht, aka The Werewolf versus the Vampire Women. I'll go into more details after the synopsis, but this takes that earlier movie's plot and shoots it better. Better visuals, some great creepy scenes, better editing, better costuming and sets, just better. Also, a big step up from the last Waldemar Daninsky movie. By the way, this is not just my opinion. By some reports, this was Paul Naschy's favorite El Hombre Lobo film, and he openly acknowledges it is essentially a remake of La Noche del Walpurgis from 1970. So now let's move on to the synopsis. In the 15th century Hungary, Elizabeth Bathory is convicted of witchcraft and vampirism, along with her family and her coven of witches. Polish nobleman Waldemar Daninsky has been mentally dominated by her, and he's convicted of lycanthropy. He gets an iron mask and a silver dagger through the heart as punishment. This results in a kind of living death, since he is nearly impossible to kill. Centuries later, a couple of college co-eds are traveling through Europe. An old professor and his young daughter Erica discuss tracking down the graves of Daninsky and Bathory for archaeological study. Turns out she's been communing with Elizabeth's spirit. She chokes her father to death with a string of pearls in order to steal a pentagram pendant that she needs. Two gravediggers have decided to loot some ancient artifacts and donate them to a museum, for a hefty finder's fee, of course. They ignore the specific and graphic warning on his tomb and pull the silver dagger out of Waldemar's heart. On the night of the full moon, even, Daninsky returns to life. The two robbers are rewarded with instant death. The college girls, plus Erica, are warned by the Carpathian locals to stay away from the castle ruins. They get ambushed by robbers and rapists. Waldemar rescues the three by shooting the criminals with a crossbow. The college girls' car breaks down right by the rat and snake-infested castle ruins. The two grave robbers' corpses are stuffed in Waldemar's recently vacated grave. Waldemar allows the girls to stay at his castle. I am not sure why they want to. Erica, however, knows who and what he really is. Erica locates the tomb of the Countess Bathory. Under the full moon, Waldemar kills an amorous couple. The man's shotgun does nothing to him. Waldemar falls in love with one of the girls named Karen. Waldemar has a female servant with half her face burned. She's obviously also in love with Waldemar as well. The next night, Karen sees Waldemar transform. He doesn't hurt her and instead flees into the darkness, killing a hobo at his campsite and a local peasant girl. The spirit of the Countess hypnotically instructs Erica to perform a bloody ritual, bringing her back to life. Erica kills and sacrifices the unnamed extra college girl. Bathory rises and feeds on Erica, making her a vampiress as well. She also necromantically summons some zombie servants. Waldemar comes home with the sun. I guess being a werewolf is an aphrodisiac because he and Karen hook up. Erica goes to feed on Waldemar's servant. She's initially marked with a crucifix, but Erica manages to swat it away and feed. Bathory bathes in the poor girl's blood. Waldemar realizes the Countess has been revived. Locals trust him enough to ask for his help, if they only knew. Elizabeth and Erica kill the locals before they get back to town in a pretty creepy scene. Waldemar turns against his former mistress and her vampire slaves to save Karen, and I guess the village too. He instructs Karen to lock herself in a room and defend herself with a crucifix. Meanwhile, he hides stakes all over the castle, John Wick style. However, When Bathory comes to mentally dominate and feed on him, he succumbs to her. Karen fends off one vampire and kills her with the silver dagger. Karen uses the dagger as a crucifix to drive off Bathory. Valdemar and Karen fight off minions as they search for the vampire's refuge. Unfortunately, the next night, Bathory feeds on Karen. Now Karen is a spy for Bathory. She knocks Valdemar out with a silver cane. In the final battle, it's one werewolf versus 4 vampiric women. Luckily, he's got a lot of stakes. The film ends as it has to, in a classic battle in the crypt between Daninsky and Bathory. He winds up tearing her throat out. Now, completely consumed by bloodlust, he bites Karen. She manages to stab Daninsky through the heart with the silver dagger, thus ending the curse on the man she loves. A dying Karen starts the crypt on fire and crawls to Valdemar so they can lie together for eternity. For a short 4 months, this film took the title of the best werewolf transformation scene in cinema from Werewolf of London. Of course, it's going to be supplanted soon. But let's just enjoy the technological development this film borrowed from fight and stunt choreography, the Texas Switch. On the werewolf lore front, this doesn't add much, if anything, to the previously existing El Hombre Lobo lore. The reason Werewolf of London has been the best transformation scene in lycanthropic cinema is because it is the most dynamic. Henry Hull never stops moving. The cuts are hidden behind the columns. Every other werewolf movie to this point either cuts away from the transformation or has the actor holding perfectly still while the film dissolves between shots with intermediate levels of makeup. The holy grail filmmakers have been looking for is a way to show the actual transformation on screen. What The Night of the Werewolf does is borrow a trick from the stunt world, often called the Texas Switch. This filmmaking trick involves switching the actor and a stunt double in a single shot without cutting the scene. The actor will step out of the frame or behind a prop, and the stunt double will step in, or vice versa. This technique keeps the scene flowing and obscures the switcheroo from the audience. One of my favorite examples of this technique is the fabulous hallway fight scene in the Netflix MCU television show Daredevil. To execute a Texas Switch, careful blocking and camera movement are required. Scenes are strategically planned so that the camera can get ahead of the actor or the actor can run behind something, allowing for the switch to happen seamlessly. This technique requires collaboration and planning between director, cinematographer, and stunt performers. The result is a scene that looks incredibly real and keeps the audience invested in the story. The Texas Switch is often used to make action movies feel more authentic. What this film does is borrow the principle of Texas Switch to disguise hidden cuts in the editing process. Paul Naschy can writhe in pain, falling onto a set of stairs or behind an opaque railing or stumble behind a large couch, then suddenly break the wood paneling or stand up, now with additional makeup on. This gives the illusion of dynamic transformation without the artifice of the dissolve. Now, since this movie is essentially our first remake in the project, I want to conclude by talking just a bit about remakes. Remakes get a bad rap, and it's not entirely undeserved. Some remakes lack originality and artistic merit, but a closer examination reveals that film remakes play a crucial role in shaping cinematic landscapes, engaging audiences, and adapting timeless stories to contemporary contexts. Why? Well, film remakes serve as a testament to the enduring power of storytelling, as classic narratives withstand the test of time and undergo revisitation and reimagining for new generations. This process empowers filmmakers to offer fresh perspectives and innovative approaches to well-known tales, not only keeping these stories relevant, but also showcasing the universality of certain themes and characters that resonate across different eras and cultures. Shakespeare hasn't written anything new in 400 years, but we still remake his timeless stories in new settings with new themes. Now, advancements in cinematic technology play a pivotal role in the evolution of film remakes. The availability of cutting-edge special effects, CGI, and improved cinematography or sound techniques allows filmmakers to breathe new life into stories once confined by the limitations of earlier technologies. Acknowledging that creativity and originality of previous generations, these remakes become opportunities to enhance great ideas that were once constrained by technological capabilities of the past. It's not uncommon for artists to feel drawn to specific stories and themes, similar to a painter using recurring colors, techniques, or subjects. Filmmakers may return to the same creative well that initially inspired them, or revisit themes that deeply resonate with their artistic sensibilities. As demonstrated by Paul Naschy here in this film, revisiting and remaking earlier films becomes a means to apply enhanced skills, experience, and creative control to previously explored narratives. In conclusion, film remakes significantly contribute to the economic sustainability of the industry. Recognizable titles with built-in audiences and brand recognition alleviate some financial risks associated with producing entirely new stories. This delicate balance between the familiar and the novel not only fosters commercial success in the film industry, but also provides ample opportunities for creative and artistic expression. Now, as previously mentioned, remaking a film is not without challenges. A notable hurdle is the inevitable comparisons between the original and the remake. Audiences driven by nostalgia or a profound connection to the original may scrutinize alterations, making it difficult for the remake to establish its own unique identity. Filmmakers face the delicate task of balancing homage to the source material with the introduction of fresh new elements, risking dissatisfaction from devoted fans of the original or sticking too close to the original and not adding anything new. Another drawback is the potential erosion of originality in the film industry, with Hollywood studios increasingly turning to remakes to leverage established franchises. There is a looming risk of stifling innovation and impeding the creation of new, groundbreaking narratives. This pattern may contribute to a cinematic landscape saturated with familiar stories at the expense of novel and audacious ideas. The industry's reliance on remakes may unintentionally impede the rise of original voices and unique perspectives in filmmaking, creating a scenario where new talent struggles to find its own distinctive voice. Furthermore, the financial considerations linked to remakes may drive a focus on formulaic approaches that prioritize guaranteed returns over artistic innovation. Studios might favor recognizable titles with pre-existing audiences, potentially sidelining original scripts that take creative risks. This profit-driven mindset can shape a film landscape where the pursuit of financial gains dominates, potentially stifling the diversity and creativity crucial for a thriving cinematic ecosystem. In navigating the pitfalls of remaking films, filmmakers and studios must tread carefully to safeguard the integrity of storytelling and the essence of original cinematic expression. So, if you like lycanthropes, like, share, and subscribe. Contribute your thoughts and additional observations in the comments below. Let me know what I missed or what you noticed. Next, I plan on discussing, finally, the legendary classic, An American Werewolf in London from 1981. Keep your eye on the moon, a silver bullet in the chamber, and we'll see you back here next episode.